Hello, welcome to the Bible in 5 years. My name is Armando. We are reading the Bible in chronological order, more than 300 stories, and it's going to take us more than 2 years to do so. Afterwards, we will change the format of our reading, but we will continue to read the Bible in always short and sweet because we read verses here, we don't read chapters from 3 verses to around 30 verses or so. Oh, we remember what we read. Let me change the music so we can do a reading of today. And if he knows. And at the end of the reading, I will give my longer explanation of what this project is about. All right, let's do a reading. Day 225. Five. Cleansing from skin diseases. Leviticus chapter 14, from verse 1 on. And the Lord said to Moses, the following instructions must be followed by those seeking purification from a contagious skin disease. Those who have been healed must be brought to the priest, who will examine them at a place outside the camp. If the priest finds someone has been healed of the skin disease, he will perform a purification ceremony using two wild birds of a kind permitted for food, along with some cedar wood, a scarlet cloth, and a hyssop branch. The priest will order one of the birds to be slaughtered over a clay pot that is filled with fresh spring water. He will then dip the living bird along with the cedar wood with the cedar wood, the scarlet cloth, and the hyssop branch. Sorry, no hyssop. Into the blood of the slaughtered bird. The priest will also sprinkle the dead bird's blood 7 times over the person being purified, and the priest will pronounce that person to be ceremonially clean. At the end of the ceremony, the priest will set the living bird free so it can fly away into the open fields. The people being purified must complete the cleansing ceremony by washing their clothes, shaving off all their hair, and bathing themselves in water. Then they will be ceremonially clean and may return to live inside the camp. However, they must still remain outside their tents for 7 days. On the seventh day, they must again shave off all their hair, including the hair of the beard and eyebrows, and wash their clothes and bathe themselves in water. Then they will be pronounced ceremonially clean. Wow. On the next day, the eighth day, each person cured of the skin disease must bring 2 male lambs and 1 female-year-old lamb with no physical defects, along with 5 quarts of choice flour mixed with olive oil and 3/5 of a pint of olive oil. Then the officiating priest will present that person for cleansing, along with the offerings before the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle. The priest will take one of the lambs and the olive oil and offer them as a guilt offering by lifting them up before the Lord. He will then slaughter the lamb there in the sacred area at the place where sin offerings and burnt offerings are slaughtered, as with the sin offering. The guilt offering will be given to the priest. It is a most holy offering. The priest will then take some of the blood from the guilt offering and put it on the tip of the healed person's right ear, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot. Then the priest will pour some of the olive oil into the palm of his own left hand. He will dip his right finger into the oil and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord. The priest will then put some of the oil remaining in his left hand on the tip of the healed person's right ear, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot. In addition, to the blood of the guilt offering. The oil remaining in the priest's hand will then be poured over the healed person's head. In this way, the priest will make atonement before the Lord for the person being cleansed. Then the priest must offer the sin offering and again perform the atonement ceremony for the person cured of the skin disease. After that, the priest will slaughter the whole burnt offering and offer it on the altar along with the grain of offering. In this way, the priest will make atonement for the person being cleansed, and the healed person will be ceremonially clean. But anyone who cannot afford 2 lambs must bring 1 male lamb for a guilt offering, along with 2 quarts of choice flour mixed with olive oil as a grain offering, not great, grain offering, and 3/5 of a pint of olive oil. The guilt offering will be presented by lifting it up, thus making atonement for the person being cleansed. The person being cleansed must also bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, whichever the person can afford. One of the pair must be used for a sin offering and the other for a whole burnt offering. On the 8th day, the person being cleansed must bring the offering to the priest for the cleansing ceremony to be performed in the Lord's presence at the tabernacle entrance. The priest will take the lamb for the guilt offering along with the olive oil and lift them up before the Lord as an offering to him. Then the priest will slaughter the lamb for the guilt offering and put some of its blood on the tip of the person's right ear, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot. The priest will also pour some of the olive oil into the palm of his own left hand. He will dip his right finger into the oil and sprinkle some of it 7 times before the Lord. The priest will then put some of the olive oil from his hand on the lobe of the person's right ear, on the thumb of the right hand, and on the big toe of the right foot, in addition to the blood of the guilt offering. The oil that is still in the priest's hand will then be poured over the person's head. In this way, the priest will make atonement for the person being cleansed, and the priest will offer the 2 turtle doves or the 2 young pigeons, whichever the person was able to afford. One of them is for a sin offering, and the other for a whole burnt offering, to be presented along with the grain offering. In this way, the priest will make atonement before the Lord for the person being cleansed. Then these are the instructions. No, then these. No. These are the instructions for cleansing those who have recovered from a contagious skin disease, but who cannot afford to bring the sacrifices normally required for the ceremony of cleansing. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, some of this reading is difficult for me. It's almost like reading medical stuff. It's like reading the dictionary. I don't know. This is the Bible in 5 years. We're reading the Bible in chronological order. More than 300 stories. It's going to take us more than 2 years. And afterwards, we will change the style of reading, or the content, or I forgot the word I would always use. But we will always make it short and sweet. The reading, at least. No the explanation. Eventually, I will drop all this explanation, okay? I'm getting tired of explaining every episode this stuff. But I figure some people, maybe I do it for a year, and then the rest of the 4 years, I don't do no explanation. Just reading. I don't know. we see what happens. Anyways, so we read verses here. We don't read chapters. We read from 3 verses to this was 32 verse, I think. Yeah, 32 verses, and it felt long. I'm trying to cut it short to 30, but it's like there was no way I could cut it to 30 because then what am I gonna do with the 2 other verses? Yeah, because the next reading is a brand new section of something else. So, anyways, so that's what we're doing, trying to keep it short and sweet, so we remember what we read. My goodness, I'm already up 10 minutes. I better 10 minutes and 44 seconds. So that's what we're doing it. And this project is for people who have not read the Bible. They don't know what the Bible says, and it's okay. This is for the one, not for the 99. But if you're from the 99, go ahead and support us. How? Go into the links below or above, Facebook, YouTube, or Spotify, and like and subscribe. And let us know where you're listening from or where you're watching from. See you tomorrow. Bye.